Hello and welcome to the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. I'm your host, Crypto Jack, coming to you live this Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020. Bitcoin, of course, seeming to struggle below the 20K mark, with longs getting caught offside, shorts getting caught offside earlier this week. Maybe we're prepping for a move down. But of course, to discuss all this today, we have at least one of our analysts with us, and that's Jason. How are you doing today, Jason?
Not too bad. How's everyone doing out there?
Wonderful day in crypto
Bitcoin
land.
seems to be taking everyone for a loop right now, but considering where we're at right now, I did put on a short last night, which is currently underwater. Sometimes that just happens. Stop loss currently up in the 19.4 range, which could get hit here. It's just one of those things, guys. You take a signal. I took a signal right here. I'm looking for 18031. Right now, currently as we sit, if we do close this current candle, this current 4-hour candle above the baseline here, I will be exiting that position. I just kind of want to see if we're going to get a sell-off here, because looking at the daily on Bitcoin, even though this was a good signal right here, WADA was uh was up there, rising explosion level above the baseline. We were a little too overextended. This is the reason why I did not take this trade. We did suck back here, but I am not liking the way WADA is looking here for continuation. Currently, we are climbing back up. I think locally we hit a low today on the hourly of about 18,732, and it looks like we are pushing to the upside. No signal yet. Time transfer crossover, but we could get sold right back into this. This is why I'm waiting for the 4-hour currently. But overall, I think it's the same thing as we were yesterday. I mean, this is, like I said, this is going to be a week of waiting here, I think, to really get a decision on whether we're going to power through here or whether we're going to break down. To me, I honestly do feel like with this really, we're really losing steam here. Especially with this trend line, we came up and tapped the bottom of it. I do believe that this could be support becoming resistance, or yes, the bottom of the trend line. And then I do believe that we could break down from here, but like I said, still remain to be seen. If I do get that exit on the 4-hour, I will exit, and then I will wait for a good signal. But I'm glad that me and Alex both decided to discretionarily hold off on this long trade for now, because we'd be sitting well underwater right now. Actually, we would have been stopped out on this one, I do believe. Oh, no, we would not have. Sorry. Got to flip over.
I currently don't have you on screen, so I'm gonna, if you're gonna be demonstrating something, maybe save
Oh,
it for
I'm sorry.
another minute. No worries. No, we're still on the main sequence here, and maybe before we get into Jason's analysis, and I think he's gonna take us through his trade, which I think you said you're taking it to the downside and you're watching the 4-hour. So we'll explore.
Well, yeah, I'll go through all that on the screen. I didn't
sure.
realize that my screen wasn't up. I don't watch the actual YouTube video because it's too laggy.
It's all good.
But yeah, in general, I like overall the markets. Bitcoin kind of laid sideways here. S&P traditionals seem to be still holding their own. I know that the S&P gapped up out of its ascending triangle, which I am kind of hesitant on today. It looks like it's still green, so I mean, we could be holding. Like I said, this week's just going to be a real feel out the market for me, because I'm very hesitant to put a lot of risk on right now. That 4-hour signal I put on is just 1% risk, which I can easily deal with some drawdown on that. So.
Yep, and if we take a look at crypto bubbles here real quick, guys, we see it's kind of in neutral shape, but quite a few green gainers today, and we do see some decent moves. So we got 20% across some of the larger coins, from Sushi to KSM to Aave, all up over 20%. And then you got smaller players from HBAR to Band, Brazil up about, and I see even E-Gold. E-Gold I haven't heard of in a while, and suddenly E-Gold is on the move, so maybe we'll take a look at E-Gold as we get closer to the alt analysis. Now, if we take a look over here, you guys see the this little show schedule window that's going to disappear shortly. And if you're new to the channel, This is kind of the schedule we run by. So the show does run about an hour and a half to 2 hours. In the first hour, we go from the intro to the majors, where we cover Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and some of the others. Then we usually move into the alts. From there, we cover usually Forex and maybe traditional markets. By hour 2, we head into chart requests, news, and the outro. So if you do, dear audience, have requests or charts you'd like us to look at, be sure to leave them in the live chat. We do collect them during the course of the show, and we will get to them.
Again?
Yeah. So I'm going to quickly hop into the next scene and gonna scroll through the live chat, see what who's in here, who is in here
see what's popping with everyone.
Shout everyone out. Second. All right. So while I have Jason on your screen right now in front of us, I'm gonna shout everyone out like I said. I just need to add one more window here. And go. Right, here we go. Alright, sorry for the delay, but let's scroll up and take a look what we're working with. Damian Hughes saying Wi-Fi is crushing everyone. Damian Hughes, I think the first one in here this morning. We got Mikhail Kittner in here. Kittner. Morning, folks, is Mikhail. Welcome, Mikhail. We got Loop Patient in here. Hey, Loop Patient, I haven't seen you in a while. Stun Gun, good day all. Yes, that Wi-Fi in 1 month. Wow. Yep, people are marveling at the Wi-Fi in the live chat. We will certainly put the Wi-Fi chart up and take a look what's going on later. We got Subtextually in here waving hello. Hello, Subtext. We got David Rice in here saying good morning, everyone. Roll it, bowl it, or just put it in your brownies. All right, shout outs to David Rice. We know who to dial for the connect. S. Hyatt says hello, everyone.
Who's hanging out on the moon?
Mr. Hut QC, hello guys. Any news on Justin? Well, we'll address that a little later. Damon Hughes, I want to see Dot get to 566. Dark Rico says, hey Mr. Hut, hey everybody. Hey Dark Rico, good to see you again. Khalid Hazimi, he's become a bit of a regular in the chat lately. Hello Khalid, it's nice to see you again. Boris Bitcoin, we got a Boris Bitcoin, of course, who's definitely a regular. Kind of a boring day unless you're in sushi or Wi-Fi. Yeah, a little bit of a boring day. Shout outs to the sushi and the Wi-Fi boys.
That gas call was a quick one last night, if anyone in the members group got on that one.
Jonathan W, what up people? Damian Hughes, Mike is not on fire yet, says he can't see the indicators. Yeah, indicators are up. Mike, we'll get to that. Andrew, I'm almost wait until 12-hour close if stop loss isn't hit. So I guess I think he's referring to your 4-hour rationale. He almost wants to wait to the 12-hour candle before he pulls the trigger on that kind of move.
And I mean, I understand exactly where he's coming from on that, and I kind of feel the same way because I'm already kind of in some ways stepping over some of the rule sets that I have, just because I really do feel like this is a really weak spot in the market, especially with the way that everything's kind of dying off. It seems like all the momentum is kind of just leaking out of it right now, and we're pushing to the upside. So that I don't feel like that's a very strong sign. But I completely agree. Like maybe if I do wait till close, I could get a better one. But I'm just gonna leave my stop where it is. And to be honest with you, I really don't see the 4-hour closing above this. But that's remains to be seen. We have 2 hours till that close, so I totally understand your rationale there.
Indeed, all interesting topics we're gonna explore over the next hour or so. Glad to have everybody aboard. Shout out the last few people in here, see what everyone is talking about today. Subtext, can we get a larger screen for Jason? Well, he's kind of maximized, but I think you mean the way he stacks his indicators and how little space he leaves for the main price candle chart. But
I am who I am.
But maybe that was an earlier comment, and maybe everything looks good now. But we'll deal with that shortly. Eddie DC, watch Algo and XRP. They're pumping right now. Okay, we will put Algo and XRP on our list to explore a little later. SI asking for KSM. Da, da, da. What's your opinion on ZIL USD to K? We'll look into ZIL. Subtext puts her requests in. We got Wayne Arnott in here. Could you take a look at ZEC? Yep, we will. Furries. Oh, Johnny's in here. Nice to see you, Johnny.
Johnny boy.
Get your ranging suits on, boys. Time to scalp the range. Yes, I do want to bring my fine instruments into this operating room and start scalping the hell out of this action, because if we are going to range here. And I was watching, I think, Johnny scalp last week. He using this. He was in fine form, and I don't know that your 15-minute moves you were making, Jason, recently. Was that like a scalping? Was that what you call that, scalping?
Oh, for sure, that was scalping. I mean,
Okay.
I was in and out probably each trade probably 30 minutes to an hour, so that's absolutely scalping.
Right. So scalping season in full effect.
Looking
Johnny.
for $100 movements in Bitcoin's price.
All right, so we're going to move into the analysis. We're going to start with Bitcoin and move into some of the other majors. In the meantime, if you guys can hear us clearly, let us know in the chat. Is the music too loud? Are our voices too low? Anything like that, do let us know. I can adjust volumes if necessary. But beyond that, I'm going to hand the mic over to Jason. Jason, kind of take us through Bitcoin, maybe tell us a little more about your trade, and we'll go into Ethereum after that.
Yeah, of course. Well, here's Bitcoin on the 24-hour. This is utilizing the 13 EMA. As you can see here, 2 days ago, we did get a long signal with pretty much everything firing. You got a crossover here on time transformation. Wadatar is clearly giving you enough momentum with the rising explosion level, and you are well above the 13 EMA. One of the problems with this, though, is what we do utilize is 1 ATR above the baseline is basically a no-go. It's a no-go, or it cancels the trade, or you go half risk. This is where me and Alex did decide to discretionary not post any long signal for BTC, which is good. Because it did end up reversing here, closing above the 13. So technically this could still be a good signal, but like I was saying, I really don't like WADA here. There's really not any momentum coming in here, so I really do feel like this is going to be just kind of a false run to the upside and then get sold into. If I am wrong on that, then I'm going to bite the bullet on that, but that's what I'm willing to do right now. Going down to the 4-hour, this was the signal that I did take last night. 4-hour short signal right here. Went off well first and then wicked relatively close to our take profit, but then just decided to reverse on us, which is what happens sometimes. I mean, not every trade's going to be good, and honestly, we still don't know if this trade is bad, because sometimes you just deal with it. Like our stop loss currently sitting right here. We did wick up here to 19,366, but we are currently sitting safe below that level. Whether we press to the upside and wick it out right now, I do not know. But like I said, that's just one of the qualms with trading, that not everyone's going to be a good one. But I really don't like what we're seeing for momentum out of Bitcoin here. So whether we get all the way back up to my stop loss or not remains to be seen at this point, but I'm kind of sitting on my hands. Going over to Ethereum. And all these are going to be sitting in pretty close to the same boat like yesterday. Like I said, all of these charts look exactly the same, man. It's going to be a lot similar to yesterday in that, like I said, we're going to have to probably wait this week out to really get a sense of where we're going. I don't like how... I mean, the same thing here, not very much momentum coming in. We're about to get a take profit long on your continuation long here on Minx with this cross under. I mean, pretty much the same for all of them, guys. These charts all look exactly the same. I think that we're going to be ranging here within this range for the next couple weeks. I do think that we're going to break from here. Again, like I said, this doesn't really... If we do decide to break up, I'll lose 1% at the stop loss and then look for the next signal. but currently I'm sitting on my hands waiting for us to decide whether we're going up or down. Ethereum in the same boat. I believe LTC USD is in the same boat. Yep, looking exactly the same as that. One thing I did want to point out that I thought was interesting today was looking at .USD compared to all these others like yesterday, and this seems to be the winner of the day in comparison to the rest of the market. That and a couple of alts that I took last night posted to the group. One of them has already hit TP1, which was gas BTC, and then also I'm taking a shot on hot BTC because of some news I read and also how low it is and the signal. It could be a while, but that's why we position size correctly. Let's see here. Let's go over yesterday. I guess we could call this the trade of the day yesterday. This would be... Okay, so let's go to bar replay here. And this is basically what I do when I post anything to the group. This is exactly what it is. So yesterday we got... That is not what I wanted. Oh, I want to go back one. Okay, not sure why that won't work. I just made it look good, Damien. I'm not saying that it's going to be the runner. But anyways, so yesterday I did post this trade. It looked exactly like this. If you go over to the premium group, as soon as I posted, looked at this, I entered at 909. My first take profit was at I believe 1,046 sats. We got the full long signal above the 13 EMA. WADA is above the dead zone with the rising explosion level. Time transformation is not quite there, but that's why I use Minx as my primary initiator, because it is a little bit more sensitive. I like time transformation for confirmation on tops and bottoms as well, but I use Minx as my main initiator. So this got me into this trade at 910 sats, and then we opened up the next candle right away into wicking up into that take profit, and then we put our stop loss. I actually, since it wicked up so fast, I did not put my stop loss to break even because I really did feel like this was going to happen. We were going to wick down here, and then this morning you will see that I added my stop loss back to break even here at 910, and I'm just going to let this run. That's an easy, quick 5%, even if it closes at break even right now, which is a great trade. Just kind of sitting on our hands on that one. Congrats to anyone who got in on that. And then this one, I just like the way this is turning out. I do think that we're going to get a little bit of wibble wobble here, but this is kind of, I mean, it's a PTP signal, but it's also such a low sat that, you know, it might not work out. This is why we're position sizing correctly. But I thought it was a good time to take a shot.
What sort of risk are you taking on that hot BTC trade?
Just 1%. And
right,
yeah, it's important. Yeah, it's important. Like I said, I threw basically a couple $100 at this. This is not. I'm not shooting for the moon here. But when these things work out, man, they work out. One sat movement is 25%, and it's not like these things can't move. We've seen it happen before. I mean, the weekly's got a good time transformation crossover here. So I mean, let's see what we get. I think it might be worth the wait. I mean, it might take a little while, but. That's why we use 1% risk.
Yeah, well played. And indeed, if we're just gonna be range bound here, or we're just gonna linger in the 18, 19K range, this could make a good springboard for the alts.
And that is kind of my my ideology here, and why I was really looking through the BTC pairs, and only 2 popped up yesterday. I'm going to be very curious to see what happens today, because I really do think we're going to run out of steam in Bitcoin. We're going to start ranging sideways, and that's going to be the perfect opportune moment for the BTC pairs to catch up.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. This one just looks fun. I do believe the last time we called a hot signal was right here. Justin called it for the group, and he got out here at 9 sats. So that was a great trade as well. So we're hoping to do the same thing here. Being patient, waiting for the signal, and getting in. Let's go hot.
Yeah, I remember Hot has treated us well in the past. We've had some solid trades in the group based around Hot.
Just imagine this happening again.
That would be sweet right now.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, this thing's either going to pump or it's going to fail. So.
All right, what else?
That's kind of how I think about it.
All right, let's head into a couple more majors. I was hoping we could look at XRP as well, and maybe EOS is. I mean, I don't think EOS is doing a lot, but I would like to get into a position on EOS, especially if we're gonna take off from here. But for now, let's dive into XRP, guys.
I mean, just looking at this right here on the weekly, you might be a little hesitant, but on the daily, let's see what we got. I think we did get a continuation long out of here, which is a valid signal on XRP. This is a tough one. You do not need water confirmation for a continuation, but this is in the same boat for me as Bitcoin. I think that if Bitcoin goes, this will go, just like all the others. But XRP, let's go down to lower time frames, just see what we're getting, because I have a feeling it's going to match very closely to what we're getting out of Bitcoin. Here we're gonna have to wait for close, but we are getting a valid continuation short. I actually like this short. This actually lines up with a lot of my thoughts on where Bitcoin is going. But as for a signal, this would be a valid continuation long for XRP. Again, this is one of those ones where give it the day, because we're gonna range here. The signal was supposed to be taken right here anyways, so give it the day. If it does close back up there, maybe take a shot at it. But if it closes down here below the 13 EMA, you know you've been invalidated and don't take it. So this is really up to the trader's discretion. The continuation longs for this specific coin, you're gonna have to go back and back test each one to see what kind of data you're getting. Mine are back tested for Bitcoin, so I can't really tell you that, I know that this is a 74% hit rate or 50% hit rate. I'm just looking at this in terms of chart patterns. I say give XRP more time, the same way as LTC, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the majors right now. So let's take a look at EOS. EOS has been kind of weird during this run. Okay. Looking a little flatter. But this would have been too high above the baseline anyways to take. Water was just barely there, so I don't like this signal just because it's gone too far. You could look for a baseline pullback, but you did close below, so that would immediately invalidate this trade. I think EOS is looking pretty droopy as well.
Yeah, kind of droopy now that you mention it. I do see Damien Hughes here. He says he's stuck in EOS because his trailing stop didn't trigger after it was hit.
No, you're not. Close it.
And he says, didn't mean to compare Santa Fe. Oh, that's unrelated to EOS. Here's why I suck much less at trading. He is why. Yeah, for sure. Justin has taught and mentored many of us to great success. And I think much of my success for Justin as well. So, in this case, he's why I suck much less at trading. Indeed, Damien. I think a lot of us could identify with that. Okay. So I think that covers some of the majors. Maybe you can throw Link up there for me too, because I pretty much consider that one of the majors now.
Stinky Linky. Let's look at it on Coinbase. Man, those look exactly the same, did they? This one actually would have been a legit long signal if WADA was there. actually, no, never mind. That is a negative candle. That's just painting the wrong. So that is actually below. This actually looks weaker than EOS in my opinion, but they both look like they're about to bleed out. I mean, of course, just because WADA is not confirming this long signal doesn't mean that it isn't a good long signal. I'm just saying for the way that I trade, this would absolutely be nothing to touch.
All right, nothing to do on
Yeah,
Link.
could be looking at a swing failure here, but remains to be seen. Very garbage WADA here, so typical of a retracement back up to complete your fib, and then, but we will see.
All right. I think it's time to dive into some of the alts, and I think some of the alts we'll cover. I'll grab a few from the audience. So, Jason, what's one of your top alts in mind today? What do you got on your watch list for today?
Well, how about this? Let's just do a daily scan right now.
Sounds good.
This is something that I do before daily close every day, just to go through the markets. This once I have a system tuned that I like, then I run through the markets very quickly, and this is how you guys get your signals. At least from me, I know that Justin and Alex, they practice very similar practices. So what we will do is let's start with our large sats. Go here. So basically, when I'm looking for a signal, I'm looking for either a short or a long signal first, and then I continue to delve down. With a lot of these BTC pairings, I know that there aren't, and I don't have a margin account with Binance currently because I'm a U.S. citizen. And all that stuff. But so I don't necessarily look at that, but you'll see how it works. So anyways, we're running through these real quick. ETH.
Peckham08 just showed up in the live chat, says evening all. Welcome, Mr. Peckham. Damien Hughes also said Link might hit 14 before end of day. Damien Hughes.
Link's only 10 cents away from that, so I don't know why that would be shocking. All right, so looking through these, I did not see anything that I liked, so then I would go to mid-sats. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing some mid-sats here today. FET is getting close. I will put that on my list for the week.
That is officially on the watch list, guys.
All right, so this NXS, this is going to be a beautiful signal today if it closes this way. So right now we got a time transformation crossover. WADA's finally rising with the rising explosion level over the 13. I'm going to wait till daily close because we don't know. This could suck all the way back down to below the baseline, and then it would validate it. And I also like to wait for that because a lot of the times when you do get that pullback, you're actually getting just a better entry before it takes off. So NXS will definitely be on the list today. ARC is going to be put on the list as well to review before close because there's a lot that can change. Oh, nope. KNC, WAN chain, WTC, Atom, Beta, PQX. And this is just something that I do discretionary. Looking at these, when I see like my first long, especially on an alt, I usually tend to ignore it and then wait for the follow-up because as you see, you get that, you usually get wicks and then you get a lot of downward pressure. And then on the next one, you usually can get that movement that you're looking for. So that's just something discretionarily I do. So like looking at this, when this comes up next time, I will probably most likely be taking that position. KMD also looks good for not continuation. We already closed back. That's just a good long signal. We are a little tiny bit low. We're not quite to above the dead zone on Wada Atar here, but like I said, you got to wait till the end of the day. It absolutely could be there. Waves. Everything's looking good, but Wada is just not there. We're actually negative and below, so this would be weeded out. I'm going to put it on my list just to review it. Sky, PPT, CRX, MDA, Steam. Actually, Steam was one we could have taken yesterday. I'm not sure why I didn't see this, or maybe it happened real close to close, but this would have been a great signal. We got the signal here. You already would have wicked up and hit your TP, possibly, depending on how you ran it. You're already out, which probably would have been a 3 to a 5% trade, which would have been beautiful, but we've missed it now, so it's on to the next one. OMG. EOS not looking very good. That's probably going to give you a continuation long by the end of the day. This was the trade I took yesterday, gas, and that wicked up right nice quick. This would have been a great one to grab, but it's overextended. If anything, you would have taken this at half risk, but you still would have nailed it. That's why sometimes I really like charts like this when you get a long signal and you see a big wick through it. I would say, I haven't gone through and done the numbers, but I would say like 68% of the time you usually get another wick like this right after it. So I really like signals like this, especially when they pull all the way back to the baseline. I missed this signal yesterday. This would have been a valid signal for MTL. I think MFT we were talking about. But the way that this is sitting, this is still a great entry. You haven't wicked up and hit your TP yet. This is still sitting here. It looks like you already wicked back down to gain support. So at the end of the day, I mean, you could even look at taking this right now responsibly.
Yeah, it looks prime for a long there.
MTL does look good here, so that's definitely going on my list. I mean, that could even be one that I post even sooner, but we'll see.
Something to keep an eye on.
Power's looking pretty good today. Definitely looking at power at close.
Okay, which power is this? Oh, it's
POWR. These are all
Gotcha.
Binance pairs, by the way.
yeah, this is not the power I'm invested in. Never mind.
Wrong power. I have the power. Oh, Lisk.
Unlimited
Lisk has always
power.
been a really tough one for us to trade around here. But it is giving a full signal today, so I think Alex will laugh about that. ICX, no long signal yet. Storage, nope, but that is beginning to look very good. It's going to need another day. GNT, ELF, ELF looking very strong here. I would like to see more of a pullback here before we enter. You may not get it, but that's part of trading. Not every coin that you see has a good signal is going to be like your signal. You need to wait till close most of the time. I mean, as you do it over time, you'll notice certain situations where you're like, all right, I'm going to pull the trigger on that. But ELF looking very good today. Like I said, I do feel like this is going to be a good time for BTC pairs because everyone thinks that we're going to make another assault on all-time highs, and I don't think we need to. I mean, it could happen, but I don't think we need to here.
Sure feels like we're a little gassed out, doesn't it?
GRS definitely going on the list. Not quite there yet. ADX will be on the list for tomorrow. All right, so it does appear that mid-cap, mid-sats are where it's at right now. We're going to get into low-sats here.
Yep, got to cover a few low sats, and then we're going to move into some requests because I got a large amount of them stacked up here. So, dear audience, thank you for hanging on with us this morning.
I know it's not like the traditional thing that we do on the streams and stuff like that. Like I like to say, this is like the non-sexy side of trading. But realistically, what you're watching me do right now, this is what I do every day. Realistically, if you're trading the daily, it shouldn't take you but at most an hour to get through everything that you need to get through, setting the signals. I mean, it takes me a little bit longer just because I have signals to post and other things to go over with Alex and stuff like that. But realistically, anyone can do this. I do believe someone brought up CVC yesterday. I would like to go back to the chat or the video yesterday, because I do believe I said I did like Curve here, but it was discretionary, or CVC Civic, sorry. But yeah, that way too overextended now. Like when people see these, they're like, "Oh yeah, breakout trade, breakout trade." Like for my systems trading, I'm looking for incremental movements. I know Alex likes to do support and resistance for weekly and stuff like that, where you could get a continuation all the way up to here. I just like to take my trades day by day. My investments are different. That's why trading capital investments are always supposed to be separate. But seeing something like this that's so well above the baseline, that's just bound to punish me. By the risk to reward for me is not there when there's other things looking really primed. Like, for example, that was MTL. MTL looks way better than this right now. I think if you were to jump into MTL, you could ride this rather than hoping that you get another pump out of Civic. But definitely getting some volatility today, huh?
That's for sure.
DNT going on the list for a long today. DNT's been very good to me in the past, so.
As ScopeCat says in the live chat, every good relationship has a non-sexy side. That'd be a good point. That's one way of looking at it.
Well, I mean, with trading, most of the going through charts and back testing and all that stuff, people just want the gains. Like, oh, what are you doing? What are you making? All that stuff. Like, if you're going to do this seriously, there's a lot more to it that just is not that sexy. Loom. See, a lot of alt signaling today, which I think it makes me sit a little easier in that short position that I have. Again, I'm going to have to go through these and really narrow them down at close. I knew I should have taken this signal. I almost took this 2 days ago, but I did not. Would have been a great signal, but it's well past gone now. QKC. So it's definitely looking like our mid caps are going to be, our mid-sat coins are going to be the movers of the day, I think, based off of the signals that we're getting currently. Ooh, long signal on that, but no WADA, so we'll just take a look at that later. See, this is one of those examples to where it broke down below the baseline. You got the wick back, but then you got continuation. This just isn't your trade. You just missed some. That's the whole point. ZIL looking strong, but no signal here. You got your signal back here, which would have worked out beautifully. Trailing stop, hopefully, got you out here, but if not, 1, 2, 3, that's a beautiful trade. And that is it for all of finance pairs. Let's just go through USDT pair quick.
Yep, quick USDT scan, guys, and we'll be getting to your chart request very shortly.
I mean, all these look the same as Bitcoin, man, but just dwindling momentum. ENJ actually does look like a valid signal today, so we're gonna have to put that on the list for later. Dash, nope. EOS, we already talked about, close below. GRX could be good for continuation. Watch this close, you might actually be able to get in on this, but I still think we're gonna peter out here. XMR, NOLS, TRX, ICX. BAT, USD, BTT, nope. BAT, nope. No, why these are still highlighted. XRP, QDOM, OMG. And I like with what I do believe is going to happen with BTC, it makes sense for me that not a lot of the USDT pairings are going to be signaling. It's kind of going to be the opposite of what we experience when you see the USDT pairing when Bitcoin is doing very well, and the BTC pairing actually looking the exact opposite. I feel like we're going to start to see BTC pairings start to go for their longs, and then the USDT pairings start bleeding out when BTC starts bleeding out. Come on, hot. Yep.
I see subtext
Not liking very much.
asking about trend lines. Trend lines are more of an Alex thing, guys.
Yeah, like Alex is much more of a trend line type person. I find that they do help me when I'm just trying to discretionarily figure out where I think the market's going to be heading. I mean, you can even look at this one right here. This is the daily trend line. This is one of the reasons why I do think that we are going to gas out here, because the trend is kind of flipping right up near all-time highs. But the other reason why I don't like trend lines as well is because they're extremely subjective. Like, anyone can put anything anywhere and make it work. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I like systems trading much better. It's something that I can test. It's something that I can go historically look at quickly. Like, I'm not going to go through and see how many inverse head and shoulders I can find and how they work out and how differently their pattern, stuff like that. I just don't feel like that's the best use of my time. But I totally understand people using them, fibs, everything, whatever works for you.
They're
keep doing it.
very convenient visual tools to have on screen. I get why
Yeah,
people
absolutely.
like them.
But as for trading and testing, I don't like them for that reason, because it's kind of extremely hard to test. I mean,
Yeah, it's a style that could support other methods, right?
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I do trend lines. I'm not saying that I don't. It's just when I'm going through and looking, like, I feel like my back testing is what I should be focusing on, because I can go anywhere and start drawing lines and see how I feel about it. But actually, back testing systems tends to work much better. Okay, so 30-minute did give a good signal, but this is not a tested system on the 30-minute. So whether this completes or not is irrelevant. It does look like it might have some legs, but we will see. Okay, so someone wanted me to take a look at Aave USDT. Okay. Strong long out of Aave. So looking at this chart, you should have been in here at $76. Your first TP would have been at $84.52, which you did hit today, and currently you'd have your stop loss at break even, just letting it ride, man. But as for now, Aave does look good. Not very much data here, so you are pressing all-time highs. Whether that continues to run, I do not know. You're kind of in uncharted territories here, man. I mean, if you really like the project and you wanna ride this, but this isn't something I would touch. I think there's better opportunities out there, and your opportunity to long this was right here.
Yeah, a little late to get into that now.
I mean, if you like the project or whatever, or if you're holding, I mean, congrats. But
subtext says, Jason, I've seen you draw trend lines before. Don't lie, I've seen you do it. So subtext
no,
is
I
calling
do
you
draw.
out.
I do draw trend lines, but it's not something that, like, right when I go to a chart, I'm like, oh, look at this. Like, it's something that I'm more like, I would need more time to look at it. but it's not something I base my trading off of. My intuition, a little bit, it can help, but it's just I find that back-tested systems trading works a lot better for my time's sake and for my emotional state.
Totally. I did notice someone mention here, where was it? I think it was Boris. No. Where was it? Oh, Damien right here says, I think Jason's time frames are too short to care about trend lines. Yeah, I think you trade
That's
on
not
like
necessarily. I trade on the daily and the 4 hour. So I mean, well, honestly, this trend line right here on the daily, that's a trend line. Just boom. I mean, it's just a line.
Word.
But like right here, I could easily draw an ascending triangle. Boom. Breakout, false breakout, throwback, real breakout. Like all of these things can be charted easily, but that's just I guess that's not how I do it. Sorry,
I see a little discussion regarding the playlist. I see some people like the jazz, some people don't.
We got jazz going?
Yeah, we got jazz. I mean, I've been running strictly jazz playlists for the last few days that we've been running music.
Snake jazz.
And I don't know, something maybe about this time of day, guys. I don't get like pumped up high energy music. That comes on later in the evening. So yeah, so here, I like to keep an air of sophistication and like relaxation, and so I've got the jazz playlist. But with that said, I'm gonna take it under regard that we've got requests for maybe a slightly different playlist. I agree. I mean, again, I'm also at the subject to working with copyright-free music, courtesy of EpidemicSound. So I can't exactly use your top 40 playlist, guys. But I hear what you're saying. Maybe we'll switch it up. Maybe we do need a little energy in here. So I will throw on some different beats on occasion. Not maybe this second, but I've taken it under advisement. So much thanks. Subtext says, guys, I literally talk to Jason almost every day, so if I'm trolling him, you can honestly just ignore me. Yeah. So
sushi.
It's okay. Basically, we take shots back and forth. Okay, so let me see here. I think we need to. You have anything else you want to scroll through on your watch list? We have a few more, or should I get into the request now?
I ran through my list.
I thought so, too. Okay, good. I just didn't want to cut you off too early. Okay, good.
No
so
worries.
you're
I was
good.
actually just looking at sushi.
Brilliant. All right, so I'm going to quickly pull up the first request on the list. I do think sushi's on this request list. Let me just pull it up here so we can get the visual here. Sungun and Boris Bitcoin, both of them were asking for sushi. So good day all, says Sungun. That Wi-Fi in 1 month. Wow. So yeah, Wi-Fi in 1 month has done things, hasn't it?
Yep. I mean, looking at sushi here, I mean, we're on a tear. I mean, we were at 56 cents, I mean, last week. Now we're at $2.50. With ChartX, I'm not able to put my indicators and stuff on here, but looking at this, I really do think if it plays out the way normal markets play, I really think you could take sushi up to 458. But again, this is one of those things that I'm just like, I mean, it could be great. I'm holding some sushi just for the hell of it, but I'm not going to try to. I'm just going to wait. I think that we could get a pump out of it. To give someone real advice and say that they should buy sushi, I don't think I could do that. Because we don't know what all these food tokens are. You've seen what happened with hot dog, yam, pizza, yam 2.0. Like, we just don't know. I mean, with these partnerships that they're doing with Wi-Fi and stuff, certainly interesting, definitely fueling the fire. But how high this goes, I mean, that's anyone's bet.
Indeed. The other half of the question had to do with Wi-Fi. Maybe we could pull that up. I don't think we looked at it in depth yet.
I don't think we did look at Wi-Fi. Ooh. Fi. Hey, how are ya? looking like you got with this system, you got duped, because you did get your long signal, but it just wasn't there. WADA was not telling you that there was momentum for it, and actually WADA's been garbage up until here, and then you finally got your breakout. My system just simply would have missed this. There's no way around that. And looking at it from here, I don't know. I wouldn't want to touch it. It's too overextended from the baseline. But definitely some momentum coming into YFI right now.
All right, let me take a look at what's next on the list.
I will go to Algo USD here for Boris Bitcoin on the 12-hour. Continuation long here, which would have been good. You did close below the baseline here, so technically you should be exiting that, but you got your pullback and continuation. Let's look at the 12-hour. I'm going to assume that the 12-hour is too overextended, but I will say this: if you get a good pullback on price before close and you close above, what is the 13 EMA at, 32 cents, I do believe that you could take this to the upside. This is looking good for a 12-hour signal. Again, wait till close, because if it's way up here, you don't want to do anything. And if it's way down here below, you don't want to do anything. Jumping into trades early is usually what gets people burned, so make sure you're patient. If you're trading the 12-hour, make sure you're waiting 12 hours. You'll get burned more times than you win, I promise.
All right, Boris Bitcoin, hope that covered the algo request for you. Let me scroll here, see what I can add. Okay, Damien Hughes here is asking for smart credit and INJ. Also, Damien Hughes pointed out that Sushi is now on Telegram. I'm sorry, TradingView. TradingView. I got Telegram on the brain today.
Is this the right smart cred off of Uniswap? I believe this is it.
Yeah, I think that's the right one.
Okay, well, looking at this, there's not that much data on smart cred. You are below the 13 EMA. We can go down to the 12-hour to see what we get. Looks like you did get a good long signal for the 12-hour on smart cred. Again, this is back tested for Bitcoin. Generally, they do tend to work well, but I'm not going to give you any percentages or anything like that. What I would do is on this 12-hour, wait to see if this closes above the 13, which would be 0.00368. If it closes above there, I would absolutely take it up to 0.003357. So right here on Quadriga. So with the little bit of data that we do have, I do think that this would set up to be a good signal. This is a great example of what I was talking about earlier, where when I don't have that much data and we've been in a long downtrend, I like to avoid the first long signal, which this would have been a good signal. Yep, you did not hit. Now wait for this one. This is the next good signal. Now take this signal if we do get a close above the 13. I do think that smart credit right here looks like it could be a winner. Well, just have to mark that and check back with it. But on the 12-hour, I do like it. Let it close, though. You still got, 5 hours? I hope this is helpful for you guys, because this is what I do.
Totally. All right. Moving into the next request. Who do I have slotted in here? Oh, did we do INJ? Sorry, I was kind of OFK for a second.
INJ BTC?
Yeah. You might have to clarify that he just dropped INJ. Damien, if you have a particular INJ in mind, let us know.
INJ BTC here. You are getting some good momentum right now. This is too far extended to take a full risk trade. If it were to close like this, if you wanted to, you could go half risk at close or wait for a baseline pullback. I would wait till close, because I do think you might get some pullback here, and if it closes above the 13, absolutely take it. And if it does close up here, I think you would be better pressed to look for a baseline pullback, which currently is residing at 6,840 sats. So I would probably go up a little bit on that because we're curving up. So realistically, if we close like that, I would say take a shot at 7,000 sats on a baseline pullback and then continuation. These quadrigo marks will change as this price changes, so that's also why it's important to wait till close.
Maybe look at the USDT pairing real quick.
Yep. Very similar. I always love it when you see both charts looking the same. That's definitely strength. This one's even a little more extended, but it's the exact same thing that I said for the last case. I would wait till close, see where you close at, and if you close high, go for a baseline pullback. If you close low above the 13, take the trade.
All right, INJ looking pretty good today. Looks like a strong one. You can always tell. So far. You can always tell our audience is sorry. Go on. I'm talking over you.
No, you're good. You can always tell that they're looking for the coins that are moving.
Yeah, not just moving, but they got a good eye for them. Clearly.
Yeah, we're moving.
We're doing good work with the audience. When you can tell that they're scanning and they're picking up on solid setups, so I like that. Except for the guys.
Well, I appreciate it too because it puts stuff on my watch list that sometimes wouldn't be on there. So
the audience does tip us off to spots in the market that we're not really watching, and setups that suddenly are in the playbook for tonight. Okay, let me look at the next request here. Oh, this one's a comment from Subtext, and she says, Jason, the 13 MA you use, is it an EMA?
Yes. EMA. 13 EMA.
That's the EMA. Let's take a look. Who's next on my request list?
It's got a soft spot in my heart. It sometimes can be a little too sensitive, but I like that because when the 13 EMA shines is in times like this, when we're starting to see bottoms, and then it's more sensitive than the 60, and then usually you can get into a really good trend beforehand, and then if you run those systems back to back, which I like to do for my 4-hour system. So if the 4-hour signal that I posted does end up completing, then I will likely get another signal on my 60 hole 4-hour, which I really like to do to catch both of them. If this stops out, that sucks, whatever. But usually I can double up on them. I like the 13 because it's a lot more sensitive.
Brilliant. We did do Aave earlier, I think. So Boris Bitcoin, Aave was covered a little while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Aave was done. Soki Cat. He says, this is why I drink whiskey when I watch the stream. He's referring to, I like the cut of your jib, Dave. Every good relationship. Yeah, I think he just likes, he likes our cut. We do
cut of your jib.
We do produce good content, good analysis here. And Skoke Cat is just one of the regulars who can be counted to be here and hit the like button. And if you haven't already, we got 79 viewers, 31 likes. Don't resist.
Don't.
Just do it. Just go over there, hit that like button, smash it if you have to, but just hit it. Damon Hughes says, hey, I called Wi-Fi yesterday before it was moving. Yeah, good call, Damon Hughes. Wi-Fi was certainly primed to go, and it did. Let me see here. I'm gonna scroll up and find us the next request. Let's see here. I think we did Curve earlier. Okay, we did CRV, guys. Okay.
See, like right here, we're getting some price movement out of Bitcoin. We just moved from basically about $200 here, and WADA barely has moved. I mean, I really do believe that we're gassing out here, but again, this could just be bias. So. But do we have any other requests on the list today? Is there any kind of news that you wanted to get into, Jack? We are at the hour mark.
Yeah, we're exactly at the 1 hour mark. So thank you to everybody who's tuned in for the last hour. Spent a wonderful Wednesday so far afternoon with Jason and the entire CC audience. It's always a pleasure to see your beautiful avatars and names in the live chat. on a day like this. But in terms of what we do next, yes, we'll probably explore a little bit of the news. There's one other thing. Okay, I might do a little playlist switch right now. I might have to put on something a little more upbeat. So for hour 2, we'll go into more of the EDM playlist. As well, I just need to find a few more requests. S. Hyatt asks for KSM. So while I switch the playlist, Jason is going to quickly take a look at KSM.
I got KSM USDT here. My system had a CL here. You did close above. You could have taken that easily. You would be out of this trade at TP1 and TP2 hit with your stop loss either at break even, or if you wanted, put it at TP1. This trade is passed for me. There's nothing to do here. I think it's already moved. But in terms of the weekly, wow, you're at all-time highs here, man. I just don't know. You could keep running. If you're already in this, take some profit and let the rest run, man. But if you're not, I think you would get burned.
All right, S. Hyatt with the Kusama request. Hope we covered that. We got the playlist switch in effect. And we're going to move into the next few requests while I line up the news in the background. I got to scroll way up because I saw a lot of requests did come in, guys, at the beginning of the show. So let me climb back up to the top. Subtext. Okay, we did cover ETH, XRP, and Link. Cool. Okay, we got Khalid Hazimi asking for ZIL USD. So,
did go through that on my scan, but we'll go back to it.
Okay.
Continuation.
Sorry,
here
I
on the
lose
daily.
track of all these sometimes.
Yep. Looks the exact same as the last chart, but continuation you could have taken if you wanted to wait for the baseline pullback. You did get it. This trade's already completed to TP1. Your stop loss would now be at break even, and let it ride. For me, this is nothing anymore. Should have been caught 2 days ago. The weekly does look strong, but you've already completed all 3 TPs for this long signal.
On the weekly or the daily?
On the weekly. So
damn.
4 weeks ago you would have been good here, but well past its day now. You could keep running. It's just it's the same situation as the last one. If you're in it, great, but if you're not, I think taking a position here would not benefit you.
All right.
Brilliant. Again, I'm a trader. I'm an investor, but when I'm trading, I'm not looking for an investment. I'm looking for price movements that I can profit off of. So like if these coins are special to your heart and stuff like that, like I just look at them objectively, and if I can get a movement out of them, I'll do it. But there's not really many projects that I'm in love with besides Bitcoin.
Well said. I don't think we did DOT yet. Sorry.
I did DOT earlier in the day, but
I'm off today. I'm sorry, Jason. I don't mean to keep hitting you up.
Actually, DOT was the very first thing that I did, but this looks very similar to all the last 3 charts that we looked at, but those were continuations. This is just a long signal, which I actually couldn't have taken using this system because the WADA is not over the dead zone, but you are getting some good appreciation out of it now. I'm curious to see where DOT goes. Especially with Bitcoin, it seems to be following all of the majors, so we could be witnessing DOT just becoming a major.
Yeah, Damian Hughes says he wants to see DOT get to 566. So
566, that's only 16 cents away.
Well, best of luck. Godspeed to you, Damien. I hope your take profit gets smacked. Yeah, bro. With any luck, he'll be back in the chat tomorrow telling us how good he did on this Polkadot trade. So shout outs to Damien.
To address Damien here, he said, Jason, if you're late to a trade, do you ever just throw on a tight trailing stop and let it run? No, because I'm going to be honest with you, even I've tried that a couple times when a long time ago, and they got destroyed immediately because of usually when you're doing that, you're excited because of volatility. And when you go in and just buy and then throw a trailing stop on, you usually get wicked out immediately. I've learned over time that there will always be another trade. If I miss something, I miss it. Just wait till the next day. At the early onset of when I started systems trading, I would get so excited when I would just see a signal that I would basically try to allow myself to break some of my own rules just to take it because I was excited for a signal. And that's not the right way to do it at all. What I do now is like all the signals that I got today, I'm gonna have to weed through all of those and only pick a few of them because I'm only looking for strength. But yeah, if I'm late to a signal, I just wait for the next one, man. I don't try to get cheeky anymore, trying to ride things out.
Nice.
It's just easier on the stress. I mean, all of you have been there at one point to where you've either talked yourself into staying in a position, or talked yourself into taking a position, or talked yourself into exiting a position that reversed right when you did. I mean, these are all classic things that we've all done before. And what I try to do now is just try to eliminate any of those things that in the past have caused me problems. And jumping into signals late has always been a problem, so I don't do it anymore.
Right on. Okay, well, excellent commentary on Damian Hughes's comment regarding entering late trades and tight trailing and stop losses.
Yeah,
so,
just
well
don't. Just
well
say
done.
no.
Just say no, guys. Just say no to drugs. Gonna do a little rewind back to the 80s.
Get your dare officer in here.
Mm-hmm. Man, what an era. We generally. I'm kind of glad I lived through the 80s and 90s culture.
You want to know what's really funny is growing up, I had 4 dare officers, and 3 of them were arrested for drugs.
Oof.
The other one beat up a hooker, so.
Oh my god. Well, that sounds like
nothing but class.
Yeah, it sounds like America. Okay.
It's way easy to talk yourself into a trade. It's way easy to talk yourself into pretty much anything, David Rice. That's why I love systems trading so much, is you can really pull away the emotion from it. It's completely data driven.
Indeed. Airwolf says, just wait for the next one. Indeed. Alan Wrench, what do you guys think of PivX? I honestly haven't followed PivX too much. Semi-checked. I think that's.
I know nothing about the story.
I know. I think PivX is Verge, which is the privacy coin. It's a type of privacy coin. Is this the one that got released on Pornhub?
No,
that wasn't adopted.
That's Verge.
So what's PivX? PivX is just PivX, I guess.
Yeah.
Why do I associate PivX with Verge for some reason?
XVG, but there could be something to do with that. You could be right.
PivX, the most cloned crypto, a great project, says Mr. R. Yeah, we don't know too much about PivX, but I tell you what we do know, and that's charts and quick analysis. So let's throw PivX.
To be honest with you, if you could short PivX, I would be shorting it right here.
Yeah, we short it to the ground, guys.
This is a good short signal. I don't think you can, but yeah, I definitely don't long this. I would be like right here, you got a good retracement up and a pullback to closing back below. Make sure you wait for this to close below. If it does, this is a valid signal, which gets you a better entry in on it than what you would have had. I don't even think you can short this, can you? But this is basically how you look at it. Any other chart, this would have been a good signal. But in terms of PivX on the daily, for longs, no thank you.
Well, there you have it. All right, another request or two, and then I'll jump over into a couple news stories here. All right, I gotta ban this guy from the chat. Let's take a look. Hide user from channel. Goodbye. Nobody DM this fool for free Bitcoin.
I think he left his phone number.
He did. That's because they want you to contact them on WhatsApp so they can scam you using WhatsApp or Telegram. So, guys, if anybody offers free anything, or if it's too good to be true, I'm sure I'm probably speaking over people here. Everybody knows most of our audience is very sophisticated, very suave. They don't usually probably fall for these scams. But just so you know, guys, don't ever fight. Don't bite those comments. Those comments that say, this guy taught me how to make 10 BTC a week. Just DM him on Telegram. Don't.
If you're making 10 BTC a week, I'm not putting out ads. I'm just living my life.
Yeah. So stay away, guys. Stay far away from those. So
the best thing the best thing I could advise is join the CC group and follow my signals. It'll pay for itself.
Yeah, Mr. or MR here says, PivX has been cloned to death. No one wants to get behind a good project. They'd rather clone and moon their own coin. You know what? That is a problem we've had in this space.
There's a lot of greed in the space. It's because it's new, man. Like whenever there's something new like this, it's always going to be the scammers and the rat bastards that come out to really take advantage of the space. That's how you know it's growing. I mean, you're always going to have these weird clone pump and dump shitty projects that just reminds you of the importance of do your own research. I mean, a lot of these things don't even have legit white papers, and people are dumping their money into it. It's ridiculous.
It's true, but that's not to say there still isn't opportunities abound, even when you dabble in the shittiest of shit coins, guys.
I've made money off Doge.
Yeah, indeed. So as long as you guys are diligent and you follow your strategies and your rules, you can feel comfortable getting in and out of coins you probably wouldn't want to hold for the long term, right?
And that right there is a statement in and of itself. Is follow your rules. If you don't have any yet and you're just guessing, you're doing something wrong and you're gonna lose money. I promise. You need to have a rule set to follow.
Word. Okay, I got one that just came in here. This one's from Idiot Air, and he's asking for mana. So let's throw the mana on the chart.
Mana. We need more mana.
What is mana? Mana's like something
it's
straight out of fantasy.
Power.
Yeah, some kind of magic stat power. I don't know. It reminds me of something out of a 90s RPG or something.
Well, looks like mana would have given you nothing. It would have given you a signal on Minx here, but you did not have what you need to justify the trade. You just missed this one, and this happens. You probably would have already TP'd on it, but it does look like it's got a little room to grow here. Again, it didn't make a higher high here. I think that this was right to keep you out of it. I think this gets sold back into. I wouldn't want anything to do with this right here.
David Rice reminds us, fun is the true shitcoin.
Dude, I'm telling you, they need to sponsor you, bud, because I even thought of you when I went through my daily scan and came across fun. I'm like, David Rice, damn it. Every day he's in here shilling fun.
Yeah.
What do you do for a living?
Fun is fun fair. Am I right? Is that the
that's
gambling?
Gambling
Yeah,
token,
the gambling
right?
token. God, dude, I think I invested in that like back in 2016 or 17. I had a bag of fun at some point. Yeah. I had my fun and then we parted ways. What can I say?
That sounds like life.
Indeed. Philip Carr, Manchester Mint, says evening, guys. So Philip Carr just showed up in the chat. Welcome, Philly. It's good to see you. We got 80 viewers, only 36 likes, guys. If you haven't hit the like button yet,
trying our best here.
Smash the like button. Damien Hughes asks, Jack, what do you think of NFT space? So the non-fungible tokens, the so-called crypto collectibles. What do I think of them? That's interesting. I'm just not really a collectible guy. I mean, the only thing that really seems collectible to me is Bitcoin, so I'd stack that. But in all seriousness, it's an interesting concept. I just think it might need another 5, 10, 15 years before digital assets or like digital. Or like I mean, the most obvious application is going to be video game assets. So stuff from the video game world is slowly going to get ported over into NFT format. It kind of will, but I just don't know if that's going to be anytime soon. And who's to say if any of these major video game development studios are going to like adopt a decentralized platform for their application? You know, maybe they'll take it onto a private blockchain and issue their own assets like that. Certainly an interesting concept, and I do think that once we enter the Ready Player One universe where we all live in pods and explore the world through VR headsets and never leave our pod, you're probably going to need NFTs to kind of manage the consumer environment out there because everything's going to be issued digitally.
Are you scared of that future?
I'm saddened. It's sad. But,
says the guy who just bought an Oculus.
Okay, listen, dude. That's for casual sad entertainment. I would never.
All right, listen, dude. That's for me.
Okay. If I get issued one by the government and told to stay in my pod and surf, the internet with that, I'm gonna say no. But if I get to buy my own, that's a little different. But maybe you got me on something. Maybe.
You've been flying TIE fighters with that thing, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm playing that Star Wars Squadrons. It's pretty.
That
sick.
Sounds amazing.
It's quite the experience in VR. I have to give it that. So it's been fun. I've kind of spoiled myself this holiday season. I bought some items with
You
those
earned it.
a fat gain. So you know,
You're welcome.
I've got some new stuff, including some new stuff for the kitchen. The wifey likes that too. But you know, I digress. T-Dub, I got one too, says T-Dub. Oh, you got an Oculus? Right on to T-Dub. Yeah, I just picked it up. I'm a VR noob beyond that, though. Is that available on Amazon Prime as I'm on lockdown here? If you're talking... We were talking about a video game, not so much a movie, so I think we're talking past each other here, Philip. Idiot Air, mana equals NFT. Ah, so mana is an NFT play. Okay, good to know. Might have to look into mana. T-Dub, pretty sick, and... Jack casual. Yeah, I am a pretty casual guy, dude, when it comes to certain hobbies and interests. Other things I'm more hardcore about. What can I say? David Rice says, I'm disabled. I see. Well, David Rice, my condolences. So you sure called him out, Jason.
No, he's not disabled. His legs just don't work.
Oh, boy. Well, David Rice, you have a
my apologies that you are handicapped in that way. That does suck, but you still seem like an awesome dude.
Yeah, David Rice is certainly a cool guy.
Don't seem disabled to me.
I do like David Rice. He is a good dude indeed.
Guy knows how to have fun.
Guys, I think I've covered pretty much all the requests. If I did not get to a request, if I scrolled past it, I missed it, drop it in the chat now. I will scramble to grab the fumble, and we'll go from here. And in the meantime, I'm going to quickly switch scenes and talk about a story that I think needs a coverage here. Give me just a second to switch scenes, guys. I'll be right with you. In the meantime, enjoy your EDM music mix for now.
I'm glad they have music because it's just silent for me, and I'm like, oh man, this is awkward. I don't know what to do with my hands.
I know. Yeah, there was after reviewing a few of our episodes in the last few weeks, I was like, man, there's a few dead air spots that we got to address, and therefore music had to make its way back to the air, guys. I know Justin also liked having music, but there was also a lot of work to juggle all of that. But now I think we got everything nicely dialed in. Audio, everything works good, and yeah, we're good. All right, here we go. Where did this go? Sorry guys, just another second, because you know how it goes with OBS when you're building all these new scenes and stuff. I have been working on the OBS. I'm sure our audience has noticed that our daily streams look a little different lately. Yes, it's because
like I said yesterday, we could use any kind of tips and suggestions you guys got, because we're kind of...
Yeah, for sure. We're kind of looking for new ways to treat you. Yeah, we're looking for new ways to deliver the same show, but with more interesting and entertaining fashion. Give me one second.
Today we went and did a daily scan, stuff like that. I mean, do you guys like seeing that? Do you like seeing like the process of that? Is that too boring for a stream? Like, I'd like to get your guys' feedback on that kind of stuff.
Indeed.
Okay, one thing we didn't ever do is...
Yeah, sorry, I had to step away for a second. Had a little cat emergency here, but all is well. You know how it is. These kitties are young and need a little extra attention, and they get themselves into a lot of trouble. As the saying goes, something about curiosity and cats. Alright, sorry to keep everybody waiting, but I am back, and we're going to be looking at this first story coming from Cointelegraph. Buterin outlines next steps for Ethereum after the Beacon Chain launch. So this is, I think, big news, I think, in the space. We need to consider that the launch of Ethereum 2.0 could be as big of a milestone for this industry as the launch of ETH 1.0. And the good news is that, yes, we successfully launched the 2.0 contract, and the Beacon Chain has been launched. According to this, a lot of the work is done in parallel, meaning scalability is closer than it seems. Following the successful launch of Ethereum 2.0 Phase 0, the first concrete step in building the next iteration of the protocol, Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin published an updated roadmap of what comes next for the project. So let's see what's next on the Ethereum roadmap. Current development of 2.0 is generally divided into phases. Phase 0 is the bare bones beacon chain that enables staking but has no effect on application. Phase 1 includes sharing of data, increasing storage capabilities without directly influencing application performance. Finally, Phase 2 fully introduces transaction sharding and enables the promised thousands of transactions per second throughput. Yeah, so if it's not clear, guys, no, Ethereum 2.0, and I'm sure most of the audience know this, Ethereum 2.0 is not like fully live yet. We've just got this so-called Phase 0 period where we are dropping our Ethereum into the 2.0 staking contract, in the process converting your regular ethers into these new proof of stake ethers. So there was a little concern that maybe this wouldn't get off the ground. There wouldn't be enough community interest and enough money committed to this contract to launch the beacon chain in the project. But hey, no, they did, and I think we actually overshot the minimum. So things are good in Etherland, and but unfortunately, we're not going to be fully. You're not going to see a sudden drop in your gas fees or the whole chain migrate over to this new proof of stake network. This is happening in phases. So currently Phase 0 is underway and seems to be successful. Phase 1 is what we're looking forward to next, which is going to include sharding. So that's a major aspect of trying to improve the throughput, I guess, of the blockchain, spreading it out via sharding. Increased storage capabilities are coming from Phase 1. And finally, Phase 2 is what we're all looking forward to, which should hopefully deliver, this promised thousands of TPS, right? Transactions per second. Let's see here. Buterin said in March, this roadmap template vision for the next 5 to 10 years. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at a 5 to 10 year period for this 2.0 rollout to happen. So nothing happens overnight. And this is, the furthest thing from overnight. So we're pretty much looking at and let's see what this roadmap looks like. This is Buterin on Twitter. Let's see here. Do we have a schedule on any of these axes? Can I tell roughly when Phase 1 may begin? But it doesn't look like it. But clearly 5 to 10 years is what they're pitching, which makes sense. This developments in the space don't move particularly quickly, but things are looking good on the Ethereum development front. Let's see here. Anything else of note in this? Key features of the next major milestone are transition from 1 to proof of stake. Light clients, that includes data sharding, we covered that. Previously grouped under phases 1 and 1.5. Current roadmap is a realization that the 3 steps are largely independent, can be worked on in parallel. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so I guess in some ways they're thinking they might be able to come up ahead of schedule by having, I guess, so much development happening concurrently. Enormous scalability improvements can be executed on the later 2 features. Enable hosting rollups. Indeed, there are going to be lots of clever new ways the development community is going to be able to take advantage of this and potentially really improve transaction fees and throughput on Ethereum. So basically Ethereum 2.0, everything looks good, and I think this is whether or not you're bullish on Ethereum or an Ethereum hodler or Ethereum lover, this is undoubtedly good for the space, and it's undeniable that pretty much all the development, I'd say, the great majority of development, 90% of the development happening in crypto land seems to happen on Ethereum. So anything that brings us closer to a more scalable Ethereum or more throughput is a good thing. Let me see here what else we got. Alright, stand by while I load the next story, and let me just quickly review what comments I have here, see if I missed anything. Skoke Cat. I gotta figure out how to pronounce this. Skokie Cat. I request that everybody make money. Yes, in fact, I'm gonna one up you. I demand you people make money. Okay, and if you're not making money, you're gonna have to come talk to us.
Right? Come
Or
answer
take
to
your
us. If you're not making money, come
home.
answer to us.
Yeah, or take your ass home. Crypto Caveman, smash the likes. Give these guys some more love. Yes, please. Up to 41 likes, much appreciated.
79 watching.
Dark Monkey Radio. Not sure what that refers to, but we got a BitMEX bot in the chat saying Dark Monkey Radio. Okay, well maybe that's code word. That's code word for something. I might have to go check that out. Crypto Caveman, BTC reeks all-time high or breaks all-time high, and then consolidates equals alt run. Yeah, the alt run is going to be epic, and I think that's what we're all waiting for. I just don't know if this is the time to board. You know, we might need a bit of a route first before we board those alt trains.
I mean, on the mid-sat run today, there's a lot of interesting signals. So, I mean, we could be gearing up for something.
Yep, sure feels like it. Yeah, true or false? I'm gonna lean toward true, Crypto Caveman, on that one. I do think that's how this next alt cycle really plays out. BTC break, all-time high, consolidation, alt run. Yes, that would be brilliant. I have a few alt bags packed. I'm really ready for the next super cycle, when all the noobs flood into the space with their retail money, looking to find the next Bitcoin. I don't mean to take advantage of them, but it is what it is. Skokat, anything you guys do when you trade is valuable to see, so thank you, of course. That's kind of what we try to do here.
Maybe we'll start incorporating that in more, because I mean, it would be helpful for people to see like what we do in the group and what it helps you do, because at the end of the day, what you'll end up building your system, you'll end up doing the same thing, running through these watch lists just looking for signals, because once you've built this system, it actually comes pretty easy. It's just a nice little window into how we do things here.
Word. Agency says, show us your kitty. No, pass. Let's keep moving.
I think he's talking to me because of the old ByBit commercials.
Well, that one too. Then I also had the little cat emergency here cited earlier, so maybe he's referring to my kitty, but no, my kitty.
It could have been.
My kitties
get him on screen.
Are nothing but trouble right now, so we're gonna kitties stay off screen. We're not gonna dox these little guys. Next, Eddie DC, do you think those phases can influence any other pumps on Ethereum? Yeah, I do think that as the different phases of Ethereum roll out, and especially if they're successful and they don't come crashing down, that's gonna be potentially bullish kind of news to.
Well, here's one thing that you know for a fact is when these phases come and go, if there was a price reaction to that, that's what everyone's going to claim was the catalyst. So, I mean, you can think about it that way as well. This could be a news relevant thing that pumps Ethereum. And I've always thought this was interesting. People bring this up because Bitcoin is so close to its all-time highs right now, and Ethereum has quite a ways to go till its all-time highs. So this could be very bullish for Ethereum.
Yep. One way to look at it is as these different phases roll out and we get more developments being published, probably spark people's imaginations of what's going to be possible. So I think as those phases do begin to materialize, we could have potentially pumps over them. But as Jason said, maybe it's just going to be a post hoc rationalization for why things pumped. But I still think it's going to be solid because I think we're going to hear a lot of cool developments coming out of Ethereum.
I think Ethereum 2.0 is going to do very well. I really do.
They're going to boast cool features, and you're going to hear third-party development say, "Oh my God, we're doing such cool things on Ethereum." You know, some of your favorite projects, some of your Ethereum DeFi type projects, might have their own very interesting developments come of the increased functionality of 2.0, right? And so everything might kind of reinforce itself, right? Alts might be like, oh, we're doing great things on Ethereum thanks to 2.0, and 2.0 is going to say we're doing great things because of the functionality we've provided to the DeFi and other spaces, right? So I do think all these things could very well confirm or boost
well for
for
Ethereum.
Precisely.
I think Ethereum's on the right track. I think if anyone's able to make this type of move, it's going to be Ethereum.
Word. Philip Carr has got a request for us that we didn't cover yet, so I'm going to get you to do that while I load up the next news story, and this one's going to be Cardano. Philip Carr says, you may have covered it though. But
I'm
how's
sure
Cardano
I
looking for today?
did,
Oh, you did?
but
Okay.
that was, well, no, it was just in the daily scan.
Gotcha. All right. Well,
Oh, I'll
Philly,
pull her up
Philly
here.
will Philly's a good guy, so we're definitely gonna take a moment to cover his request.
Come on. Come on. Load trading view.
This playlist is actually pretty good. I'll give it that. The jazz was good, but this one's all right. Be sure to let us know in the live chat if this playlist is working for you. You prefer this more than jazz?
Snake jazz. Okay, snake jazz on there.
Not even sure what that is.
You don't watch Rick and Morty?
Not enough to know that reference.
Oh, you should. Yeah, you won't get it, but it's a universe of snakes, and their music is snake jazz.
Oh, you know, I think I've seen this one. I think now that you mentioned it, yeah, thank you.
Well, the continuation long here on ADA USDT. You are still above the baseline. This does actually seem to have better momentum. Currently not very good, but better momentum than the rest of them. You could look at taking this continuation long today if it closes above the 13 with a stop. With a stop around, actually, I think, oh no, you would not have been wicked out by this, but with a stop at 1380, 0.1388, so 13 cents 88. That wouldn't be a terrible trade, but I feel like this looks the exact same way as the rest of them. Wait for the daily close because we could bleed out here. But this looks very similar to a lot of the other USDT pairs that we were looking.
All right, Philly. I hope that covers the Cardano and Cardano. Another Ethereum. Sorry.
It says that I'm on the NASDAQ, but my screen clearly says ADA. I don't understand.
Take a look here.
Oh, I had another trading view open. Sorry.
Whoopsie.
That's my fault.
Wait, were you just analyzing ADA like it was?
Yeah, I had NASDAQ up and I was analyzing ADA.
Whoopsie. All right, let's.
But yeah,
this
looks again. This looks exactly the same as a lot of the others. Like I said, this does have a little bit more momentum when it comes to WADA. Closing above the 13 here is still good, a valid way to take this, and with a tight stop here, so it might be worth a shot. But again, I do think that we're going to follow whatever Bitcoin does here, so it's important to wait for the close, because if this closes below the 13, this is completely invalidated. But with a very tight stop on this, you could have a stop at, like I said earlier, stop at 14.49, and current price is at 15.6. So I mean, if you do close that way, you have a nice tight stop with a nice risk to reward if it does go your way. Again, wait till close, because I don't think we're going to get the continuation that everyone is wanting.
Yeah, but it does look good. It does look like it might be.
There is a continuation here.
There.
So.
And yeah, okay. So the people in the audience pointing out, like Andrew, you're not on Nasdaq, or you're not on ADA. You're on Nasdaq. And Airwolf says this is Nasdaq, not ADA, right? Yes, guys. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I wasn't looking either.
I have way too many tabs open, and I accidentally did the one that wasn't sharing.
Indeed. Philly says, super cheers. Thanks, guys. You're the best. Bless you. Yes, bless you too, Philip. All the best to you. Anytime, Philip, we get your requests in here. You are definitely a VIP in the group. We're going to have to always take care of Philly when he comes through. Okay, I'm going to move in, quickly cover a couple stories here. These next two are somewhat related to one another, so let's pull that up real quick. Let me also check how long we've been running. We've been going about an hour 35 minutes. That leaves maybe 25 minutes or less in the show, guys. So if you have any final chart requests, drop them in the chat. If you haven't hit that like button, hit that. If not, we're about to roll into...
Come on, guys. You got to get over 50.
We are getting into the next story, and that's going to be... maybe not this one. I'm going to get to that one in a second. Okay, so this one's kind of a big story. This one came out today. Let's make sure this article's center on screen so everybody can read it. Here we go. Perfect. All right, so this one comes to us from Beat in Crypto. Visa comes full circle with the USDC stablecoin integration. So this is kind of big. So the credit card company Visa partners with Circle to integrate USD, the stablecoin known as USDC. And Visa, of course, being the king of the credit card industry, partnering with Circle to use the USDC, which is itself an Ethereum-based stablecoin, is a big move for, you know, integrating these digital currencies into traditional payment networks. So this is a good way of putting it. This is coming full circle, no pun intended. So while volatility in cryptos kept some payment companies at bay, Visa plunged in to connect Visa's payment system with USD coin, USDC. USDC was developed by Circle, a company that specializes in digital payments, of course. Though users trade crypto and make payments using Circle app, the Visa partnership will focus its efforts on USDC, the stablecoin, which runs on the Ethereum blockchain, and it's got a total market cap of 2.9 billion. Each USDC is pegged to a US dollar and is backed 1-to-1. So for those, I think USDC and the Circle stablecoin offering is likely one that's more well regarded in this space than, say, BitMEX's USDT Tether. Yes, I know USDT Tether is the market leader, and likely where all the majority of the stability coin liquidity is in USDT. But Tether does have some major baggage attached to it. Now, while I don't see it necessarily crashing or disappearing tomorrow, we have to acknowledge the fact that Bitfinex is not a very well-trusted player in this space, and it might be inevitable until authorities clamp down on Bitfinex or iFinex and their stablecoin USDT. And then other players like Circle's USDC, and I think Circle is US-based, right? So, you know, players like players who are operating out of the US, have made good with the regulators, are clearly more well poised to move forward into the future. So USDT might not be around for long, and USDT likely ain't going to be making partnerships with Visa or MasterCard, whereas something like Circle's USD stablecoin, USDC, has the ability to tie up. So something to consider regarding this partnership, right? So this will see Circle working with Visa to help integrate USDC into the card company's platform. Circle also integrate its app with Visa processing, and the two companies hope this result in fast, cheap, and potentially international payments. You know what? This is really cool how this is happening. It kind of reminds me of the PayPal move, which is actually our next story. But it's the same thing, you know, these payment providers, payment processors, whatever you call them, seemingly signaling to get into crypto. And no, they're not completely pivoting their business model to them, but the fact that they are integrating payment rails that support these types of digital currencies is just brilliant. So I'm really happy to hear this. And, you know, if we're entering an economic era where there is malaise and potentially failing domestic currencies, right? So if the U.S. dollar or your local dollar starts collapsing, or we have some kind of basically sovereign debt crisis, currency crisis, whatever it may be, it's possible that companies like Visa still want to be around in that post-national currency world, all right? It's possible that they see the writing on the wall, the Visas and the PayPals, and they're like, well, if there's ever a problem clearing, payments and moving money around using U.S. dollars and SWIFT and all this, maybe we ought to be ready to have a backup plan. Have blockchain networks that we can fall back on. And so, I mean, it's still a US dollar. It's still like a $1 type item, but clearly there's an incentive here, right? Why do they need USDC when they can work just with US dollars and Federal Reserve or banking accounts, right? Clearly there's still a desire to get USDC or stable coins integrated into these networks, and I think that's really, really cool. So this is kind of a big story coming out today. Again, this will be the first corporate card that will allow businesses to be able to spend the balance of USDC, said Visa's head of crypto, Coy Sheffield. So very interesting stuff. USDC runs on Ethereum, of course. Launched its 2.0. Yep, we covered that. More than just Visa. Let's see here. Visa, of course, is one of the firms that invested $40 million in Anchorage, a crypto startup. And they want to make sure that people continue to think of Visa as a network of networks. Indeed. So Visa could be the one network that kind of ties them all together. So we might have, we may not have native.
They want to be a blockchain, huh?
Yeah, or it's like basically it may not be that they're gonna have native that these blockchains might not have native cross-chain support, right? Like the different blockchains don't talk to each other necessarily unless they're designed to do that, and that's what a lot of people are trying to pioneer into doing. It's possible that the stuff that does connect the blockchains of the future might be tech coming out of, for instance, Visa or PayPal or one of these, even if it's kind of a pseudo inter-blockchain connectivity, but I digress. Next story, kind of similar. And this one comes from PayPal, also from Being Crypto. And this one is about the time for mainstream crypto payment adoption is now, says the PayPal CEO. So Dan Schulman says the time is now for crypto payments to go mainstream. Schulman says he's a fan of all digital currencies and cash usage is on the decline thanks to you know what. And so according to him, as more consumers go cashless, crypto and digital currencies are becoming increasingly popular. Something about some kind of thing here. I don't want to mention that because every time I use this keyword on stream, our shows get demonetized and put into like limited states. So go figure. I think using this keyword on stream does not help. But yes, regarding this whole crisis scenario the world is currently in, it's triggering a digitization and quantum leaps of sorts that ultimately lead to a more broad based cash jettisoning culture. Indeed, it seems like people are ready to do away with cash and they want to go cashless, and in fact they want to be like, yo, sign me up for the Elon brain chip. I want the Tesla brain chip, and if it means I can pay wirelessly with my brain, they're for it. So pretty soon the crypto wallet integration will come directly to your brain at the way we're going. But in an interview with the New York Times in Portugal, PayPal CEO declared that this whole situation accelerating the global adoption, which is a meme we've heard of, and he says, I think that if you can create a financial system, a new and modern technology that is faster, that is less expensive, more efficient, that's good for bringing more people into the system for inclusion, to help drive down costs, to help drive financial health for so many people. So for over the long term, I'm very bullish on digital currencies of all kind. Yeah, I think these guys realize they're writing on the wall. They are diving in with both feet, and PayPal being, by far one of the biggest pioneers in the, in the internet age of value transfer, transactions, payment processing, whatever you want to call it. PayPal chief declared that the global digital currency adoption was a matter of when, not if. Yeah, these guys have accepted the fact that this is the world is going.
I've been saying that forever. Like, we are an evolving world. Like, it's either adapt or die. Like, this is inevitable.
Yeah, and this one to me is one of the most fascinating things. It's almost defies belief, but check this part out. According to a recent survey by Mizuho Securities, about 65% of PayPal customers are ready to utilize crypto or online payments.
That's crazy.
Indeed, over a fifth of the company's 346 million active customers have already purchased cryptocurrencies on the platform, right? We were talking about this the other day.
Yeah, that's a crazy number, man. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's
buying
20%.
Bitcoin.
20% of 346 million is like 60-ish million people, guys.
Yeah.
Like that's like 65 million people. That's just incredible.
That's not nothing.
And maybe remember, this was only announced and launched not long ago, so who's to say that PayPal, delivering Bitcoin purchases to their customer base didn't have something to do with the big pump we've seen in the last couple of weeks, right? Like, it did kind of coincide with that.
It did just go pretty quick.
Yeah, and if you told me that, like I said, what did I say, 60 million active PayPal users already purchased crypto? Yeah, I mean, if you told me 60 million people from PayPal have just bought crypto, maybe it explains the big pump we've seen. So my next question, even if you average
that out, and you have to assume that each person spent at least $1, right?
Yep.
So you're instantly, there's $60 million into the, it's got to be so much more than that. Like, that's a big number of people. Like, and if it just started. If that's the stats already, think about when we hit 50% of people, 75% of people.
Yeah, it's incredible.
This is what it takes for adoption. Like, this is actually really exciting.
Yeah, no, in fairness, I'm sure the PayPal people they're buying are probably small fries. You know, I'm sure nobody's getting like $10,000,
Doesn't
$100,000
matter.
allocations
Like
through there.
even
But
just
yes,
even $1, like
yep,
it
them
all
dipping.
adds up over time.
Yep, that could be a whole sea of new dollar cost averaging Bitcoin maxi hodler type people approaching
Yep.
the space that are just going to start picking away a little bit of picking up their little bit of Bitcoin every week via PayPal, right? So hopefully they're getting the real thing. I mean, I doubt that PayPal is going to necessarily give you custody of your Bitcoin. It's probably going to be more like a Robinhood type model, maybe. So you know, let's hope they're not like double dipping or fractionally reserving their
Yeah.
Bitcoin as they're handing it out to all their suckers, or users. But let's hope that they stay honest. I guess that's the beauty with Bitcoin. It's hard to potentially fractionally reserve it when everybody can see your holdings on deposit on the chain, right? So interesting stuff. So again, if you haven't heard, guys, it seems like PayPal is like, you know, ringing the alarm, saying, guys, this is the trend. Here's where it's going, and we're a leader in this space, and we're adopting this technology. So was finally, will be our final story before I go back to the live chat, review some of your final comments. If I have to, I'll squeeze in another request, but we are about 12 minutes from the end of the show, guys, so I'm going to quickly cover this one. And that's the CEO of a $7 trillion asset company changes his tune on Bitcoin. We're seeing a lot of this lately, right, Jason? Like you know, big shots who eating crow, you know, they were talking smack about Bitcoin a few years ago, and now they're getting on board.
It's just so funny to see it, like, because even back then, you could go back to when we were talking about these things years ago, and position hasn't changed at all. Like, these people are going to have to eat crow at some point, and it's going to be embarrassing. But like, what they try to do is just like, oh, we didn't mean that. We've learned more now. Like, it's ridiculous.
Indeed. During a conversation with Mark Carney, which is, of course, the former Bank of England and former Bank of Canada governor, this gentleman here, BlackRock's CEO Larry Fink, was sitting down to speak with, again, Mark Carney, at a recent Council for Foreign Relations meeting. So the elites getting together and chit-chatting about Bitcoin, it seems, and Larry raised the possibility that Bitcoin could end up evolving into a global market. I mean, I would already define it as
it's already on its way. Yeah.
Definitely a global market already, Mr. Fink. But
thanks for being the okay.
So this was covered by CNBC, and you can see he's quoted here saying, these big giant moves every day. So he's commenting about Bitcoin's volatility. It's a thin market. Can it evolve into a global market? Possibly, yeah. What we could use is, you know, big banker, these guys swinging these huge asset companies, these managements, you know, Mr. 7 trillion, Mr. Asset management guy here. You know, maybe you need to bring some of your liquidity into this so-called thin market, and help us grow it out, right, Mr. Fink? So I hope he's listening. I hope he's onto something here. I would like nice to see these asset managers flow in, start diverting some money into Bitcoin. If you think it's a thin market,
I think they're already in. Like, asset managers, you cannot ignore what's happening here. Whether they're publicly in or not, like, I bet they're in already.
I think they're trying to trickle in, because if they stampeded into the space, it would just absolutely just blow it up, right? It would go parabolic. So I think that maybe they need to trickle in and make it kind of a controlled pump, controlled construction. I don't know, but
controlled burn.
Yeah. So he's quoted as saying, Bitcoin has caught the attention and imagination of many people. Still untested, pretty small market relative to other markets. Yeah, it's only like 150 billion. You see these big giant moves every day. It's a thin market. Can it evolve into a big market? Yes, it can. From an index, so let's see here. So back in 2017, over 3 years ago, Fink slammed Bitcoin as an index of money laundering. Bitcoin just shows you how much demand for money laundering there is in the world. That's all there is to it. Yeah, so, you know, here he is 3 years later. And in 2018, he also doubled down, saying he claimed that the top crypto wasn't legitimate. I don't see the sense that any government will allow this use unless they have a sense of where the money is going. Yeah, that's a valid point. That doesn't stop Bitcoin from doing what Bitcoin does. Fink's U-turn on Bitcoin comes after BlackRock CIO, so that's a chief intelligence officer, so one of his colleagues over at BlackRock, Rick Ryder, said that the world's largest cryptocurrencies could take the place of gold to a large extent. You know, this is what I think most of us Bitcoin hodlers want to hear. We want to see us topple gold as a store of value, and you know, great transfer medium and a great accounting book to keep some of your trillion-dollar assets locked into. Mr. 7 trillion asset firm already has exposure to Bitcoin. Interesting. Via business intelligence firm MicroStrategy that holds 38,000 BTC. BlackRock fund advisors own a million shares that are currently valued at 79 million. Right. So go figure. BlackRock has exposure to Bitcoin through their million shares that they own at MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy, of course, the firm that we covered earlier this year. They're the ones that picked up, again, this 38,000 BTC out of the blue. Shortly after that, we had PayPal and a few others make similar allocations to their corporation coffers. So you know, every day that goes by, we seem to cover another story like this, that when the billionaires and the big corporate fund managers are coming around and recognizing Bitcoin as a good place to lock in some money. I mean, who doesn't want to? I mean, even if you're worth a few $1 billion, wouldn't you want to see that grow? Divert some of it, baby, into Bitcoin. All right, so I kind of covered the main news stories that I wanted to cover today. In the meantime, I'm gonna bounce. Oh man, maybe this was off center the whole time. Sorry guys, I apologize. Okay, I'm gonna dive back into Jason's screen, and I'm gonna review your comments, guys, because I haven't been watching the live chat for a few minutes, and see what's the latest on the live chat front. Let me scroll up a bit, see what I missed. Davian Hughes, you can slap a triangle chart pattern on the ADA daily. BitMEXBot says, you guys are good. Play some background music.
Sure we are.
BitMEXBot, we are playing music currently, but I appreciate it. Be sure to tip me, BitMEXBot. I'll give you my BitMEX credentials, and you can forward me some of the comp. You know, comp me some good casino credits, BitMEX, if you can. David Rice asking for PHB USDT. What is PHB USDT? Filipino hot buy. The hottest.
Red Pulse.
Oh, it's Red Pulse. Gotcha.
Filipino
Red Pulse.
hot.
Yeah, the Filipino hot buy.
Man, look at that pattern. Whoa.
Red Pulse Phoenix, I think.
Very tight trading pattern. But as for now, looking at the 24-hour, PHB is in a no trade zone. I mean, it's been literally in a no trade zone for a lot of this. This would have been a good CL. You would have wicked up and got TP1, TP2. This long, you would have gotten TP1, TP2. For the tight range that it has, it does trade well. But for now, you are getting no signal. So I would still be flat on this.
All right. Well, excuse me, David. I hope that covers your PHP request. All right, I had to clear my throat there for a second, and let me skip on to the next track because this one's kind of whack. And moving along into, I see a cool comment here from Eddie DC, so I'm gonna highlight this one real quick, guys. Let's see here. Yep, looks good. Eddie DC says, there's another thing that I've been thinking. The markets in the past week have had 2 long low wicks. Is it possible that the market is trying to I think he means disincentivize the use of leveraging as gambling?
The market doesn't give a shit about what your leverage you have, man.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd want to disincentivize the use of leverage. I'm not sure if that's how. I'm not sure if that's how the market would necessarily function. Yeah, if anything, maybe.
Yeah, like.
These big
Let's teach all these newbies a lesson.
Yeah, I think if anything.
I mean, you could have whales doing that, but they're
I
doing that to make money.
Yeah, the market makers, the whales, all these guys. I don't think they want to disincentivize that. And if the exchange itself is maybe not the market maker, but maybe in collaboration. Either way, they might. The exchange itself is probably an interest in keeping users heavy on the leverage slider. So I don't really know if there's really any kind of market force enacting a disincentive to leveraging as gambling.
Well, I hope. Well, based off of your idea, it sounds like you got liquidated during it, and if so, use that as a lesson to not do that anymore. So yeah, you can take this as someone trying to teach you a lesson.
Yep, and he might not be talking about himself specifically. And it's still an interesting observation. Yes, we've had some crazy wicks down. I'm not sure if we can generally read into that too much, but interesting concept nonetheless. Probably something to think about after the show when we get into maybe a mentorship or kind of group chat session. I don't know where Alex is today, guys. I haven't heard from him. He hasn't talked to me since last night, so I hope, Alex, if you're listening, you're okay and you just slept in or something. I know he was busy yesterday. He had to take his mom to the hospital or to the doctors or something like that while he's in town, so no problem, Alex. You know, if you're in town with the family, you might as well enjoy it. So if you're eating breakfast with your mom right now at a diner, you know, all the power to you, dude. Enjoy it.
And you gotta watch your back in Florida, so.
Yes, that too. So stay safe, Alex. We look forward to having you back, and when you do get back, maybe we'll talk about Eddie's question here, because I think it's an interesting one, regarding, you know, big forces that disincentivize or even incentivize use of leverage, and how well
you'll definitely have some thoughts on that.
Indeed. Okay, let me read a couple more comments. We have been going, just short of 2 hours, guys. So we're about to head toward
guys. 5 more likes to 50, we can get it.
Indeed.
Let's get 50.
Yep, we had.
I'm just gonna stay on till you guys do it.
We did get a drop off of viewers here, so I think most people tune out by the end when we get into the news and stuff. No big deal though. Gonna read the last few comments and go to the exit. There's another. I read that one. Airwolf says the MasterCard's gonna reward with Bitcoin, no more miles. I think that's not actually happening, but I heard there is. Maybe it is related to MasterCard. Maybe MasterCard is an issuer, but I read an article yesterday from. I can't remember who it is. Some new company, kind of similar to the MCO card. Someone's offering a new crypto cashback card. The main beauty of this one is that you get Bitcoin cashback, not just CRO or some other coin. So that seems pretty hot. Might have to look into it. Maybe it's partnered with MasterCard, and that's what Airwolf was talking about. I'll have to look into it. Philip Carr says, good for Circle, the stable coin. It's a big job keeping crypto in low volatility for a stable coin. Indeed. Airwolf, and they can shut down your brain too. Not sure what that refers to. Has anyone ever else compared PayPal to WePay volumes if transactions? That's a good question. And by WePay, is that the Chinese? Yeah, it's probably okay. That's exactly what it is. The double E kind of threw me off. Yes, the WeChat, which is one of the the very, very popular do everything portal in China of a site of an app. And a very popular payment kind of wallet app as well in China. I would wonder how to compare those volumes, but something tells me WeChat volumes are going to be much, much higher. There is a big Chinese economy there with over 1 billion people, and a lot of them do use WeChat and complete payments through that. But an interesting idea, Philip. Might have to look at how WePay compares to PayPal in terms of volumes. Or number of dollar transactions, as Philip points out here. Okay, Mikhail Kittner, did I read it wrong that the survey sampled 380 PayPal users? That's an extremely small sample size to conclude that an entire user base. Man, I don't know. I gotta try through it here.
I think he did go back and see that it was only 380 people.
Yeah, that would explain it, because I was almost incredulous reading this idea that 20% of their base
huge number too
bought crypto. Yeah,
good
if you're going to conclude that
myself.
380 users, maybe not, but interesting nonetheless. Pretty sure it said 380 million. Yeah, good one. Mizuho Securities recently surveyed, yeah, 380. Gotcha. 17% of them. Understood of them. But hey, maybe they didn't cherry pick those 380, and maybe it does actually reflect the whole. But again, I'm kind of dubious that many people.
No,
PayPal doesn't have 300
sample size.
users yet, to my knowledge. I think they're around 360 million. Potentially, yes. No way they pulled them all. I haven't seen a survey. Yeah, absolutely. But, they're extrapolating these figures. Well, that does seem suspect. So, Jason, indeed, as a commodity guy, Mr. Fink probably empathizes with some of the similar issues I ponder with Bitcoin. Indeed, for the hardcore boomers out there who are still firmly into precious metals and kind of pass on Bitcoin, it might take a little while to get through them, but hey, they're coming around, it seems, according to Mr. Fink here. Mikhail Kittner points out that the survey seems like silly hype, so yeah, it could be based on something, but a little hype. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you just told me that 60 million people got onboarded into crypto or Bitcoin. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I believe that either, but okay, PayPal hype it is. Damien Hughes, you can watch where Bitcoin goes on the blockchain. It's transparent. Yes, it is. Mikhail, the quantity of Bitcoin that PayPal is currently acquiring is all people need to know. Yes. That is true. We don't really need any more stats besides getting an idea of which addresses on the chain belong to PayPal and how much they're accumulating into them. But yes, it would be interesting to see that. Philip Carr says, great show tonight, guys. It's my pleasure, Philly. Always here for the crowd and to do all these requests. Eddie says, almost lost all my money. Okay, so when you told Eddie you suspected that he might have been one of the guys wrecked by these wicks, he might have been onto something, because he says, well, I almost lost money, but I exited on time. I don't want to mess with futures and leveraging yet. Yeah, I'm beginning to trade and have been studying to be like you guys. Eddie, you sound like the right kind of guy for our community and the right kind of mindset. Definitely
Congrats on getting out.
Yeah, approaching it with caution, which is a good way to do it, and you definitely don't need to lean into the leverage slider just yet. So definitely get your crypto legs under you, and you'll be trading with the pros like us in no time.
No time at all.
No time at all. But you don't have to be fearful of futures or leveraging just yet. You can go on ByBit. You can still get experience of using a leveraged futures platform. You just don't have to really use more than 1x or 2x leverage, really. Just stick to 1x even. ByBit's still a good platform to get your feet wet, right? So, Eddie, shout outs to my boy Eddie DC in the live chat. We've covered some solid questions. We ran through all the requests. We got everything done. Jason and I really were able to hold it down today. Again, didn't have Alex on the show today, but Jason, you're really getting into your.
I'll get it figured out. Don't worry.
Doing a good job, Jason. I do appreciate having you here and walking us through the charts. And you're kind of like the living emanation of Justin at this point. Justin's taking some time off, and you fully absorbed. You were.
I did learn from CC. I was just a regular YouTuber like you guys watching the show, and now here I am.
Yep.
Talking on it. So
you went from Padawan to Jedi Master.
Always learning. Always learning.
Obi-Wan got smoked, and Anakin's on the come up, right? So.
Yeah, but I still got the high ground.
Okay, one final thing I am going to show off here. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so yesterday was December 1st. I was going to play this on the stream yesterday. This is a little something to get everybody's Christmas spirits up. Check this out. Jason, you're not going to be able necessarily to watch this right now, but I'm going to play this for everyone else. Let me see, where did I put it? I might have to go back to this other scene. 1 second, guys. Scene, here we go. And where did I put it? Here it is. All right, check this out. I thought this definitely captured the Christmas spirit, especially seeing that we just turned the calendar to December, guys. So the next month or so is going to be pure holiday spirit here. But here
Hey, Sylvia.
That's all there is to it, guys. We've more or less covered everything on today's show. I'm going to cover the last couple comments and head toward the exits.
You're such a troll, Jack.
Totally. Peckham 08, gents, mega move in an hour on Bitcoin, all altcoins, 1 hour. So Peckham 08's giving everybody the tip off. I think Peckham's a bit of a market maker himself, so he's telling you he's going to have he's going to call his account manager Boganoff and move the markets in an hour. So you've been warned. Peckham 08 says you got 1 hour. Get your positions locked in, guys. Mikhail says well done, much appreciated. Philip says legend. Westy, yes, Jason is certainly a legend in these parts at this point. Would give 2 likes if I could. Would also remove the thumbs down. Shame on whoever did that. That's okay.
Come on, guys, 4 more before we leave. 4 more.
Yeah, hit the 4 more. If you're gonna watch the replay, hit that like button. And Airwolf, great job. Thank you for the show. Mophonic, I have 55 Bitcoins. Sold them at 8K. Kill me. Dude, if
that sounds like you have a lot of money, man.
Dude, sounds like you did okay. You had 55 BTC, sold at 8. You're still not looking bad, Mophonic.
Yeah, sit on the sidelines, wait for a pullback, and get back in.
Yeah, dude. There's no reason you still can't. You can't make some good trades, and yeah, you may not have 55 Bitcoin right away if you buy in right now, but you very well could build up your bag. And at the end of the day, we're looking at building USD value. We're looking at USD value here, so you probably still have a huge pile of money under your mattress, Mophonic. Don't. This whole kill me. Yeah. I sold.
There are
a crazy
lot.
Money.
Yeah, a lot of people are worse off out there, man.
Unless, of course, you bought the 55 Bitcoin at the last top. You know, you bought it in 2017 at the 20K top, and then you lingered around and sold them all at 8K, and you dumped your entire family fortune into it and got wrecked. In that case, yeah, my condolences, Mophonic. But hey, man, it's still not all bad. Even the family fortune cut in half is still must have been pretty good. I mean, 55 times 8, we're talking about $550,000 almost here. So
that's a very good trading account.
Yeah, that's a dude.
Give that to me, and let's see what it is in a couple months.
Yeah, dude. Take 0.1% of your portfolio there and dump it into ByBit and start trading responsibly. You'll build it up in no time, my man. 4 hour just broke out of a descending triangle, says Andrew. May have to look at the Bitcoin 4 hour before we dip. Thanks for the great show, guys, says Max Fieri. Mophonic, smiley face. Peckham says you know this, which of course is the tip off to the 1 hour volatility incoming. Philip Carr caught and closed because Bitcoin taking off, dough. And locked in for which direction, Damien says. Well, I mean, Damien, that's for Peckham to answer. Peckham, please DM Damien and tell him which way you're gonna move the market. And don't try to fake us out. Okay, we want the lowdown. Okay.
And to him, whoever said. Andrew, 4 hour just broke out of the descending triangle. 4 hour, you just simply can't know that because this would be the candle that would break out. And I would caution you to be very careful on this candle because if this candle rejects, if this hourly candle rejects, you're still within the bounds of this and probably see more downsides. So definitely wait this last hour out because you are right. We are beginning to break it, but we might not break it. Depends on this hourly close here.
Might just turn into a big ugly wick that looks like a breakout, and then you end up
false breakout and
fall,
and then getting a bunch more people trapped. I really do think we should be careful here. We might go hit all-time highs, but I think that the better trade will be to the downside because locking and trapping all of these FOMO buyers, I think, is what's going to happen. But again, if we go up and hit all-time highs, that's great. I'll get stopped out of my position. I'll wait for another signal, and we'll move on.
Word.
Keep getting the money.
Indeed. All right. Peckham, last word. We'll go to Peckham, and he says, Damien, he's going up. So, Damien, there's your answer. Peckham is bringing the markets up. But I think that covers it for today. Going over 2 hours. It's been a great show. Thank you to everybody who joined us. Any final words, Jason?
Just be careful out there. We're going to deal with some volatility here, whether it be to the upside or the downside. I just know we're going to get some volatility. I am biased to the downside right now. That doesn't exclude wicks to the upside to try to hunt a bunch of stops, even mine maybe. But that just remains to be seen. Be patient and trade your signals.
Word. Okay, moving toward the exits. I don't think we have a mentorship session today, but we will try to make up for it soon, guys. And hopefully we'll get Alex, the return of Alex by tomorrow or tonight. And you'll probably catch us in the Discord. Watch the market analyses channels. So you know where to find us. You know where we'll be. We'll be here tomorrow as usual. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Enjoy your hump day and the rest of your week. Much love to everybody in the chat. Thank you to our audience. Thank you to everybody who hit the like button. We love you all. And going to the exit. Much love. Cheers.
Yep. Have a good day, everyone. Trade safely.